Do you need this? No. Do I recommend it? Yes. Hey, timeless travelers, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Trish Smith. I'm the owner operator of Trish's Timeless Travels Travel Agency and the face of this vlog. Today, we're going to talk about first-time cruisers, tips, tricks, and information you just may not know. So if this is content you're interested in, stay tuned. We'll be right back. First thing we're going to talk about is your personal bag. Your personal bag is going to be what you carry onto the ship on your physical person. So whether that is going to be a purse or a backpack or a tote bag, whatever it is for you, this is what it is. For me, it's going to be this backpack, and it has a lot of pockets, so I can put a lot of stuff in it, so I can carry a lot of things. So let's talk about what's in your personal bag. First thing that you're going to make sure you have in your personal bag is your passport. Now, if you have a passport, and depending on what type of cruise you're traveling on, you're going to need your passport. If not, if you're on a closed-looped cruise, you're going to need a birth certificate and an ID. If you are not an American citizen, a national American citizen, then you are going to need an actual passport, whether it's closed-looped or not. That is only for national American citizens. I use a passport holder that has a Apple tag in it. So if my bag goes missing for whatever reason, my passport holder has an Apple tag in it and I can actually find my passport. This passport holder is also RFID. It holds my passport. It has a little pocket for some money and some credit cards. So this is my favorite passport holder. The other thing you're going to need is a document holder. This is a document holder that also holds passports, IDs, has pockets, has a zip pocket. You can put change in here, whatever you need. So if you need money or whatever, you can put it in here. But this is a document holder and it keeps everything organized. So my boarding passes, my confirmations for my excursions, things like that. If I'm traveling with multiple people, I usually carry this when I have with my kids so that I have everybody's passport, everybody's boarding pass, everybody's excursion confirmations all in one place. Speaking of documents, this is a card holder. This is for your ship card, and it has, I like this one specifically because it has this little pull on it, and you use your ship card to purchase things around the ship. It is your key to open your door. It is your identification when you get on and off the ship at port. So this one I like because I like to have it around my neck, and then when I go to open the door, I can pull it like this. And if someone needs it for the, like at the restaurant or at a store where they need it to purchase something, I can just take it off. But if I'm close enough where I can just pull it, I can do this and pull it and make that tap. The other thing, this is a, this is your luggage tag holder. And the reason why you can staple it, they come paper, you can staple it to your luggage. The reason why I prefer these because they're plastic, this little bendy thing actually screws on here. So it's very secure to hold your luggage tags to your luggage. And if you're porting out of somewhere like Florida where it rains all the time, you don't want your luggage tag to get wet and get soupy and pulpy or fall off, or if it gets ripped off some kind of way, this is going to make it a little bit more secure. Do you need this? No. Do I recommend it? Yes. On board the ship, you're going to use your app a lot. And that doesn't matter what cruise line you're on. Most of the activities, things that you need to do, dining reservations, are all going to be on the ship's app. So you're going to need to use your phone a lot. So I highly encourage taking with you a phone charger so that you can always have a charged phone so you can look at your app, know what's going on, know when you have reservations, and you can also heart at things that are going on around the ship. And so the app will actually send you a notification reminding you, usually about 30 minutes in advance, that something is about to happen that you didn't want to miss. So making sure that you have a charged phone is really important. Speaking of charged devices, I personally take my own entertainment with me on board a ship for when I'm in my cabin. A lot of people say, I'm not going to be in the cabin. Well, sometimes you are in your cabin. So I actually take my own personal device with me. I download my Netflix. I download my Audible on here. So when I am in the cabin, if I'm getting dressed or if I'm just laying in the bed at night and I want to watch something that I specifically want to watch because the channels on board the cruise ship are not going to have everything, then you take your own personal entertainment. Is this something that you have to have? No. Is it something I recommend? Yes. Speaking of being inside your cabin, you can also get hooks that are you can put on the walls, so you can hang up wet clothes, you can hang up documents, you can hang up your lanyard, you can hang up things on there. Most ships, the walls are magnetic. So these come in the same pack as the lanyard holder and the luggage tags. And all of these things I'm going to link in my Amazon store, and I'm going to put the link in the description box below, and I'm also going to put a QR code here. So you can, or here, it's probably going to be over here. So it's going to put a QR code over here, and you can actually scan that QR code and it'll take you to my Amazon store, or you can click on the link inside the description box below and it will take you to my Amazon store to get any of these items. Speaking of being inside the cabin, I cannot sleep. I need sound or to block out the sound, light, things like that. This is one of my favorite things to take on an airplane as well as on a cruise ship, depending on where your cabin is. Hopefully your travel agent, you talk to your travel agent who will help you to figure out what the best cabin is for you. But you may not have control over that. Maybe you're going with a group and some of the cabins were just kind of picked for you or things like that. Maybe you wanted a room over, like, say, Central Park on Royal Caribbean, or over the main area on the Disney Adventure. Maybe you wanted one of those cabins, but those cabins are noisy. So at nighttime, you can have something that not only blocks out the light, it also has Bluetooth speakers built inside of it where you can block out sound. So do you need this? No. Do I recommend it? Depends. Also, inside of your cabin, you're going to need your own toiletries. Yes, the cruise lines provide toiletries, and depending on what brand you're on, what ship line you're on, depends on what brands you're going to get for those toiletries. Some of them have really good toiletries, some of them don't. I personally, because I have sensitive skin, I take all my own toiletries. This toiletry bag comes with a lot of bottles, a lot of jars, and it has spray bottles in it, pump bottles in it. It has everything that you need to take your own toiletries with you. And it's very compact. You can put this in your suitcase, or you can put this in your personal item. Medicine. I always take medicine with me on board a cruise ship. This has all the different type of medicines that I think I'm going to need. It has motion sickness medicine, because that one most people are going to need on a cruise ship. Not everyone gets motion sickness, but you want to already have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. I've got digestive medicines in here. I've got allergy medicines, headache medicines, pain medicines, sleep medicines, anything you can think of. I've got it in here in small compact bottles. So you always want to take some cold, even cold medicine, because you go from being hot inside of a ship to warm, depending on where you're going. You can catch a little cold. You always want to take medicine with you. Now that we've talked about the things that will go in your personal item and or carry-on item, one of the things that I do want to stress when I talked about this document holder is that you want to make sure that all of your medicines that you have to take, like high blood pressure medicine or insulin, things like that, you carry those on the ship. You carry your passport on the ship. You carry your documents on the ship in your personal item. So I wanted to make sure I stress that, because you don't want to put that in something that you hand over to the porters at the port, and then they go and put it somewhere, and then you don't have your medication, you don't have your passport, you don't have those things with you. Make sure they're in your personal item that you walk onto the ship with and that you keep with you the whole time. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about what else you have in your personal item. I didn't bring everything in here with me. Those are things that I just wanted to visually show it to you. But your swimsuit, depending on where you are porting out of, if you're in, say, somewhere hot and tropical, and you want to be out on the Lido deck and you want to have your swimsuit, make sure that is in your carry-on or your personal item. I'm going to speak to more carry-on now than I am personal items, so we're just going to say carry-on going forward. Your swimsuit and your cover-up and your flip-flops, put those in your carry-on, because you sent your big luggage away with the porter. That might not show up till dinner time. So you want to be able to put your swimsuit on and hit that pool or that jacuzzi or that hot tub right away. The other thing that you want to put in your carry-on, if you plan to change for dinner, put that in your carry-on item as well. Again, your luggage may not show up until after dinner time, because they are getting thousands of people on this cruise ship and they're trying to deliver everybody's luggage in a timely manner, but you just may not get it until after dinner. So make sure that you have those things in your carry-on luggage. The other thing that you want to have in your carry-on luggage is anything that you need in the cabin right away. And I don't know for you what that may be, but maybe you have a baby with you, you need diapers, you need formula, things like that. Whatever it is that you know you're going to need right away in your cabin, make sure it's in your carry-on item. So you can use compression bags or compression cubes or compression or packing cubes, or you can use vacuum seal bags, whatever you need to make sure that you compress down and get as much in your carry-on item as possible so that you have what you need to carry on the ship. One of the things that I have dealt with my clients is that their luggage gets lost. That happens, unfortunately, that happens on airlines, that happens on cruise ships. My own personal luggage got lost, and that was because we had upgraded our cabin. Our luggage went to the old cabin instead of to the new cabin. So we didn't get my luggage until well after dinner time. So anything that I needed before dinner, I had to make sure was in my carry-on item. So you want to make sure that whatever you actually need, you have it with you either in your personal item or in your carry-on item. In your large luggage, that's where you're going to have those things that you may not necessarily need right away. I mean, everybody needs all their clothes, obviously, but things that you may not need. For me, that's going to be my laundry basket. I carry a collapsible laundry basket with me on all trips, everywhere I go. That's in my big suitcase, so that as we are changing and, going through day to day, I have something to put the laundry in to wash my clothes. That is just a me thing. That's a preference of me. It's what I do. You don't need that for your first time cruise. I'm just telling you what I do. So if you have a small toiletry bag, and let's say you're going on a 14-day cruise, I don't know about first-time cruisers going on 14 days, but if that's you, hey, so be it. I've got some clients that they are booking 9 to 12-day cruises for their first cruise because of the country they're going to, and so they're going to take big luggage. I tell them all the time, take your small toiletries with you in your carry-on, and then take your full-size toiletries in your big suitcase. And I give a packing list. If you are my client, if I'm booking travel for you, I do give you a packing list and I do help you with that. These are just free tips that I wanted to give you guys as my virtual clients, if you will, on social media. So there's that. All right, let's talk about dinner. On most cruise ships, you are going to have either a early dinner seating or a late dinner seating, depending on the cruise line. This is not a fast and hard rule across the board. It depends on the cruise line. Now, if you are in some of the higher category rooms like suites and things like that, sometimes you can pick your own dining time, or you can have anytime dining, or the restaurant may have a special restaurant just for suite guests and those upper echelon guests. But the general rule is that you're going to have either a early dinner or a late dinner. Pick your dinner times based on what times you like to eat and the activities that you like to do. So for me, I actually prefer late dining because I like to get everything done during the day, then go to dinner. And then once dinner's over, I may have a little time around the ship, like in an after hours or adults only area. And then I'm pretty much going to bed. I'm an early bed person. Everybody knows that. But if you're a person who likes to do a lot of nightlife, maybe you want to eat early so that you can have more time to have some after dinner activities and then stay up later into the evening and do your nightlife. Depends on your situation. If you have children, you may want to have early dinner. That way, because your kids like to eat early and then you want to get them to bed early. If you're a person who doesn't want to be around kids, you may want to go to late dinner because all the kids are generally at the early dinner. So it just is your preference. I just wanted to give you an idea of what that is like. Activities around the ship. The activities around the ship are going to be varied. So you're going to have Broadway style shows. You're going to have pocket entertainment, like maybe there's a couple of lounges around the ship where they have like dueling pianos or karaoke, things like that. They're going to have, on some ships, they're going to have game shows where you can win things like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Family Feud, Deal or No Deal. It depends on the ship. So you want to make sure that you are looking at whatever your ship's app is to see what is going on around that ship. We have been on many different cruise lines and we have done different activities on those different cruise lines based on our personal preferences. So make sure that you are looking at those activities based on your personal preferences. Let's talk ports. Ports of call. Depending on the cruise line, depending on the cruise length, is where you're going to get off on the port. But things that you need to know about getting off on the port: you are going to need to take your ship card. That is a hard, fast rule. You're going to need to take your ship card because that is your identification to the ship. When you scan off and on the ship, they know that you are there. So when you hear people calling over the ship and saying, oh, there's somebody missing, they were waiting for someone, the reason why they knew that person wasn't on the ship is because their card hadn't been scanned. They hadn't scanned back onto the ship, but they showed scanned off of the ship. So your ship card is going to be something you're going to take with you each time you embark and disembark on the ship, each time you get off and on. So I'm going to use those cruise terms: disembark, embark on the ship. Those are when you're getting off and on. But when you're getting off at port, you're going to get off and on with your cruise card. When you get off, depending on the port, you may also have to take your ID, whether that is your driver's license or your passport. For me personally, I take my passport when I get off on port. The reason why I do that is because if something were to happen to me and I had to fly home from that port, I've got my passport with me. So some people like to leave their passport on the ship because they don't want it to get lost. They take a copy of their passport. You can do this as well. Take a copy of your passport, save a copy of it in your phone, screenshot it, take a copy of your passport. So if something happens, you can be taken to the embassy. They know you have a passport. They can pull it up and they can help you a little bit better there. Notifying the embassies of your country where you are from and where you are going. See what's going on in those ports. For us, as U.S. national citizens, what we tend to do is we look at whatever port the cruise is going to. They generally don't go anywhere that's unsafe, but we still let the embassy know that we're going to be in that country. So in case something does happen, something does kick off in that country, the embassy knows we are there, so we can get that taken care of. We generally do that mostly for trips that we do by land, like when we went to Japan and we went to China or Paris. We registered with the embassy in that country and let them know that we were going to be in the country for several days. At port, you're kind of, with the ship, so it's not that big of a deal to do that. Just as a travel professional, I just wanted to give you that option. Also, excursions. One of the things that most people will talk to you about, even I as a travel agent will talk to you about, the difference between doing an excursion with the cruise line or doing an excursion on your own, or doing an excursion with a third party, or just exploring on your own. So let's start with cruise ship excursions. The first thing is when you take an excursion with the cruise ship, they are going to have you back on the ship on time. If they are not on time, the cruise ship has to wait because they are sponsored by the cruise ship. Now, if it is getting to the point where they cannot wait, the cruise will do everything they can to get you back onto the ship at the next port. It's their responsibility because that is part of their guarantee. 99.9% of the time, you're going to be on time. But if it's late, then they will wait for you. Doing an excursion with a third party, most of them are going to guarantee the same thing. They're going to guarantee that they're going to get you back to port on time. I've done many third-party excursions and I've never been late. I've always been back on time, but that is a risk that you run. My rule of thumb with doing third-party excursions, I'll give you an example. When we were in Belize, our excursion was going to be on a port that you had to take a ferry to get to the land. You had to take a little boat to get over there. We had to go from the ship being docked out at sea and taking a small boat to get to the land. And then once we got on land, we were getting on another boat to go out to the Great Barrier Reef to go swim and snorkel. I was not comfortable doing a third-party excursion with that many moving pieces so far away from the ship. Because of that, I did my excursion with the Carnival Cruise Line. So I say that that's one of the things that I would tell my clients. If it's something that you're going to be really far away from the cruise and you're relying on the transportation of the third party to get you not only back to the dock, but also the dock you have to get back and then take a ferry back to the ship, I'm not comfortable with that. I would say do that with the cruise line because you're more likely if something were to happen, if the boat broke down in the water, if the car to get you back to the port, if all those things is too many moving pieces, do it with the cruise line. Now, if you have an excursion and the excursion is from 9 to 12 and your day at port is 8 to 5 and it's with a third party, I wouldn't be as worried. That wouldn't worry me nearly as much. And especially if the excursion is going to be somewhere within 20, 30 minutes away from where the ship is docked, I wouldn't be that worried because then you can get a taxi back and get back to the ship on time. Exploring on your own. I do a lot of exploring on my own just because that's who I am. I'm a wanderer. Sometimes I just get off at port. I go look around, do some shopping. I might get in a cab, go to an area that I want to explore, something like that. I do a lot of exploring on my own. Again, use common sense, use your discernment, and know what you're doing. If this is your first cruise, I wouldn't recommend that going beyond the port. If you are just getting off at the port, doing a little shopping, maybe going to one of the bars and restaurants right by the port where you can see the ship, that I'm comfortable with that as a first-time cruiser. So I hope that made sense. All right, guys, I hope this video has been helpful. I didn't want it to be super long, but I did want to give you some ideas on what it's like as a first-time cruiser being on a ship. So I will put the link to my Amazon storefront in the description box, and it will take you directly to First-Time Cruisers Tips so that you can purchase any of these items if you are going on your first cruise. We also would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. It helps other first-time cruisers find us so that we can help them as well. If you are interested in booking your first cruise, we would love to help you. You can go ahead and go to our website, trishstimelesstravels.com, or you can send me an email, tsmith@trishstimelesstravels.com, and we would love to help you plan your first cruise. We thank you for watching, and we hope all your travels are timeless. Today, we are boarding the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. This is an old ship with a new remodel, and we're gonna show you all around this ship. We're gonna show you all the refurbished areas, and we're gonna see if this older ship is ready for a new look. If this is content you're interested in, stay tuned. We'll be right back.